It's only on special days when we record in the midweek. Welcome to the Corner Flag. I'm Amog.
I'm Prashant.
Akash.
And that, my friends, that depressing sound is also the reason why we are recording on a Wednesday instead of a Monday, because Mr. Mukesh Manjunath decided it was the perfect time to go home away from the spotlight, thinking that he could get away with things. But that's not going to happen. We don't do that. We will postpone the scheduled recording just to make sure that he's around for us to make fun of him.
And
Because we
also give him condolences and some support and
Don't lie.
maybe
no,
Don't
little.
no, we're
lie.
not doing that.
No, we're not doing
we're
that.
not doing any of that. We're not doing
No.
any of that. We are not doing any of that. But gentlemen, before we talk about the amazing news that Mukesh is going to be the butt of all jokes for, we have some exciting news to share with all our listeners, which we've already done on our social media. But still, we should do this live while we're all here. Congratulations are in order because the Corner Flag is nominated in the Best Sports Podcast category at the HT Podmasters Awards.
Woohoo!
Amazing. This is
Yeah.
fun.
I'm actually really shocked that we're eligible for any award
the
that isn't just us giving awards to each
Yes.
other. Because let's be honest, some of us haven't even won the award shows, the quiz awards that we organize for the four of us. I don't think
That's
Amog
true.
has ever won a quiz.
That's true. That's true.
Or
It is,
our own FPL league we've not won.
yeah,
That's
no,
true.
we are very bad when it comes to awards, but I think this is the one time where we can actually possibly win because I mean, there's some great podcasts in our category, but we are the only football podcast, so we're just hoping that there's a lot more football fans who vote than there are cricket fans who vote or F1 fans.
See,
Sure,
see,
that
So,
the
that
easiest
sounds
way how to do
realistic.
this. The easiest way how to do this. If you hate Manchester United, go vote. If you hate Liverpool, go vote. If you hate Chelsea, go vote. If you hate Everton, go vote.
I hate
you-
Everton and I've already voted and
And if you love
Been
cricket,
there, done that.
also
Yes.
vote for the football one. Because really, you want cricket to win podcast
Yes,
awards.
exactly.
Yuck. Leave that for lame
exactly.
things.
Like cricket has exactly cricket already has the money, guys. They don't need anything more. They already have the money. They're all sorted. It's all good. We are the ones who need the money and the fame and the recognition. But yes, please do go to the Corner Flag social media handles. We've put up the voting link on there. Just click on that and submit your votes, and also just spread the link with your friends and family and tell them to vote as well. Because the more votes we get, the more chances we have of winning. That's typically how voting in an awards category works.
is it? I don't know. We've never been nominated.
We've
That's
before.
never
true.
been,
We've
yeah.
never
We
actually
should
won.
check.
A reliable source has told me that that's how it works, so I'm going to take their word for it. Yes, and with that, the other thing that we have to talk about, the reason why we're recording on a Wednesday. Mukesh, how was your trip back home to Hyderabad, and why did you go there? And was it because Klopp is leaving Liverpool?
I'm also saying.
And was the soundtrack to your return Chan se jo toote koi sapna jag suna suna
Oh, ho, ho,
lage
ho.
jag suna suna
Oh,
lage.
ho, 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 ho.
Or was it Tanhai, Tanhai?
It was just silence, guys.
Or was it
Or-
some cover of I Am Walking Alone,
Yeah.
which I'm sure some Liverpool fan must have come up with by
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
It was
There
Boulevard
was
of
that
it was,
Green
it
Day
was
song,
Boulevard
no?
of Broken
That's the
Dreams.
one. Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
Yes,
That's been my
Oh.
mental collar tone, ringtone, everything. Um,
But no, honestly, let's talk about this. Klopp decided to tell the world that he had already made the decision in November, but now he comes out and does a club sanctioned media interview with the club media and says, "I am leaving the club at the end of the season." Mukesh, what were your thoughts when you heard that? Also, firstly, you didn't realize that that was happening till we messaged you on the Conflict
Yeah.
WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
depressing.
And 38-year-old has gone.
Exactly.
Quickest red card in corner flag history.
I
I
mean, the
love it.
quickest red card in football history, I think, is still Steven Gerrard. So, keeping with the Liverpool theme,
That's true.
for listeners who have no idea what happened, Mukesh just dropped off, which is fantastic.
I think he's gone,
While
like he's
we
having a breakdown. He's gone to take a crying break. He will compose himself and come back.
he will compose himself and come back.
He's probably trying to be like,
Um,
I should have opened that link. I should have opened that link. I shouldn't have been humiliated over here.
yeah, yeah. Uh, but Akash, I mean, and Prashant, like the seismic news, like this is big because I think 9 years Klopp spent at Liverpool.
Yeah.
Arguably their most successful manager in the last 9 years, because there was nobody else. But all jokes aside, a very very strong manager, a very important manager for them and for their history. How happy were you guys when he said he's going to leave?
Yeah, I feel like if there's a part of me, I think he's the longest. I'm sure he's the longest serving Premier League manager currently, but there was a part of me that felt like, okay, this is the now we know for sure that over the hill and like on the other side of the valley has happened, because this 9 year has been quite a roller coaster ride for Liverpool supporters, and it's been quite nuts. And I read a stat today that said that in the 9 years that Klopp has been there, their average points tally has been 85 points.
Hmm.
And to have had that kind of a run and gotten only one Premier League out of it is
Hmm.
quite sad, if I may
It is
say
quite
so.
sad.
But it feels like now this roller coaster ride is over, and who knows
Yeah,
what ride it's going to be, and whether they'll ever achieve the peaks that they did on this particular one. But this ride is over.
yeah. That is
Hmm.
that is very, we hope that they don't achieve the peaks that they did. I mean, they weren't. You can't really call them peaks because, like you said, the stats aren't really that great. If you look at the macro side of things, 9 years, one Premier League, not great. But
Hello.
yeah, and he has
There's
decided to come back.
He's come back. It's like, yeah, but
what
there were
I mean.
also three finals, and there was.
There was a Champions League. All trophies have been won. Yeah, I mean, how can you even say that you wouldn't want this? Especially teams that haven't won anything in forever. I don't know. Like, when was the last time
No, we
United
were
won?
saying
I think in
we
10
don't
years.
want it for you again, ever.
Yeah,
Hmm. Yeah. Man, this is
My my question
brutal,
is,
guys. I'm
when
actually
in
very on this
November?
place.
Because I was going through the games and it feels like largely they had a good run of games, except there was a game against City which they drew 1-1, where Trent got that 85th minute stoppage time, whatever
yeah.
equalizer there was. But Liverpool only had about 40% possession or something. And I wonder if that was the day where he was like, that I can't do this shit. मेरे को घर जाने का है. मेरे को
Yeah,
कुछ heavy metal सुनने का है. मैं ये नहीं कर सकता.
correct. Mukesh, before you suspiciously wandered off to probably cry your heart out, you were saying something about responding to the news when you got it. So you want to continue on that and give it back to Akarsh a little bit? Anytime now, Mukesh. Anytime.
I think Mukesh has no energy left.
Mukesh
I
has
think
no
he's
energy left.
tired.
Yeah. I think Mukesh's statement is going to be that he has given his all for this podcast,
Hmm.
and after 9 years, he has no energy left. He is going to take a 1 year break minimum from all sorts of podcasts.
And he'll
That
not come on any other
includes,
podcasts.
yeah, that includes football and cricket podcasts. And once he's ready to come back, he will make sure that he doesn't join any other football podcast in India.
Can you guys hear me?
So, yes, we can. Yes, we can.
We can hear your pain and your angst and all of that. Your audio keeps cracking.
Yes.
Guys, honestly, I'm. I feel like this feels like the end of my youth for good. It doesn't just feel like Klopp is leaving. Like, it feels like shit. You know, it was such a. He literally, I think, came to the club when I was 21 or 22, and now he's leaving. And it's such a. It was such an important part of being 20s and frivolously following football. And I feel like, man, it's like I still remember the bad days. I'm not. It's just I don't think when eventually when the bad days do come, I'm not unprepared for them, or they're not going to catch me by shock. But I'm just really disappointed that the good days are done. And at least the nice part is when they were the good days, I knew they were the good days. But I always I'm not really ready for this. It's like this. I'm ready for the future, but I'm just not ready in the present, guys. Also, I
You're
feel
not.
like I can't stand Akash eating fries. I don't know. I feel like I'm feeling something very poetic, and when Akash is eating fries, and
I
it's really
genuinely got
irritating me.
popcorn for your misery.
I
I
love it.
can't stand this. Like I genuinely I feel like there's something poetic I'm feeling, and Akash is slamming fries or something. And I know he's not even a guy who regularly eats fries, so it's
It's not
irritating me even
fries,
more.
it's
That
wafer
it's
rolls, chocolate wafer
that's
rolls.
even worse.
Exactly, because it's sweet. It symbolizes happiness. That is what Akarsh is feeling.
I mean, it's
Um,
little joys, no, from the other end of Merseyside.
exactly,
माँ मेरे को
exactly.
पेनल्टी नहीं मिलता है लाइफ में थोड़ा खुशी थोड़ा
Yeah.
वेफर
Ek
रोल्स
minute,
खाने दे
Akash. We are going to talk about that incident later on in the show. Don't
Oh
jump
my
ahead to the
god.
run order. We are
Akash,
not
can you
done.
relax? My club's good times are ending. Can you like not cry about one fucking penalty or some nonsense that should be in which even if you got it, what's the point? The point should have been deducted in the future anyway. What's the point?
Okay,
So
I just want
relax.
to I just want to get back to what you said, Mukesh. Two things you said. One, you said is that you feel like your youth is getting over. I just want to point out you're fucking 30, dude. Your youth was over a long time ago.
I know,
Secondly,
but Klopp was a
second,
good reminder that it existed at least. And now I'm like, it's done, it's over. No more youth.
Is this the
secondly,
worst
you
breakup
said
you've gone through, Mukesh?
It does feel like the worst. It
no.
feels it's the worst
Secondly,
breakup because for the first time two happy people are breaking up. It's
how do you
if
know?
I
How do
mean,
you
he's
know that they are two
tired.
happy people?
I mean he's just tired of joy, which is a legitimate feeling, I guess.
He didn't look like he didn't look joyful in that interview. He just
No, no,
looked
he did not
broken.
look
He looked
joyful.
like a
He
broken
looked
man.
broke. Yeah, yeah. Second thing I wanted to point out, by the way, to Mukesh was that you said that you feel like you're not ready for this, which is something that you should be well equipped to deal with, considering you're never ready for any recording that we ever do in life, remote or in person. So, not being ready is your default setting.
Oh
So, I don't know
guys,
why you're so worried.
one important life update I feel like that I can share on the podcast, but more importantly, in the
Okay,
presence of you
okay,
three.
yes.
I have a mid-year resolution, I guess. I don't know, post-New Year resolution. Because something happened when I'd gone to Hyderabad. My cousin and I were supposed to go somewhere for work. Right?
One
And we had
second.
a
Is
meet.
this the drummer
No,
cousin?
it's not the drummer cousin. It's something
Damn
else.
it.
It's
I feel like
my
I feel like every time you start a story about one of your cousins, we have to confirm if it is the drummer cousin.
it's not. It's a new
Always.
prototype
Because
has entered.
okay,
New
wait, but
Prototype.
prototype
the
has
drummer
entered.
the drummer cousin is the same cousin who tried to shave his non-existent mustache, right?
It is the same person who shaved his non-existent
Fucking
mustache.
amazing.
Also, he's dating a girl now. Just a general life update. A white girl.
Wow.
Drummer boy killing it.
So those drumming
He-
skills, yeah, those drumming skills have come
yeah,
to
well done.
use.
Well done.
Anyway,
But yes, tell us about your second prototype cousin.
he's the Gunda of the family, and we were
Okay.
had a some work meeting at 3 p.m. He turned
Okay.
up at 3:45, and I was so angry, and I felt like I saw a younger version of myself, and he's 22. I
No,
was
no,
so
not a
angry
younger
with him.
version,
No,
a
no, no.
present version of you, Mukesh.
Still running.
Present,
So,
current, live streaming version of you.
so at that moment, I
Were you
decided,
looking into a mirror?
no, I wish, but then I would see tired eyes and graying hair. But what I did see
तू
is a
क्लॉप
cousin
नहीं
who
है
was late.
भेंचो तू क्लॉप नहीं है तू
If you
at
can't
He
best
let
said
them
you
go,
see
become
hair.
them.
Klop mein you can only see cap.
yes true
Yeah, if you can't let them go, become them. That's the saying. But yeah, I saw my cousin. I was like, wow, is this was so frustrating because he made me wait for 45 minutes, and he made this other person who I was going to meet for work wait for 45 minutes. So I decided from henceforth, I will attempt to come on time with a lot more sincerity than ever before. I will.
he
You
says
I
mean
this
will.
with
My,
some
after he
sincerity? Because
Your cousin
earlier there
said
was
no,
this.
no
without most.
sincerity.
Yeah, that's something. Before there was not too much, maybe like 10%. Now I'll at least with 90% of sincerity, I will henceforth come on time.
It it took
And
your
ye
a
meri
situation with your
vada hai.
cousin. It took a
That's
situation
true.
with your cousin to realize that you have to be on time.
If only I
when
knew
you're
earlier,
30
I
years
would have
old.
made you all wait for 45, 50 minutes one episode.
Yeah.
Overall,
Yeah, it's only when
net
people
net,
will
we would have
Ek
look.
minute,
still
ek minute.
saved time.
Akash, why are you putting Prashant and me through this, bro? Like, just do it when it's
For the
done.
greater good, nah. It's for the greater
Nahi, nahi.
good. Net
Nahi,
net,
nahi,
we'd
nahi.
still
Okay, also,
be in a
oh, by the way, I have to
time.
tell you something amazing, right? So I called him, right? I was like, hey, I'm at that place. Where are you? He said, and I expected, when you say, where are you? You expect on the way something. He said, in the toilet. And I was like, but where? And he's like, in a random shop, I'm in the toilet. And I was so irritated at the lack of good excuse making. And I was like, at least say, I am right outside something. What the
No,
hell
that's
is I'm
worse.
in the toilet?
No, that is worse. That's much worse. Just say I'm 10 minutes away. Don't say I'm right outside.
Oh, he was 45 minutes away. So he's like, hey, I'm in the loo in a random restaurant. And I was like, oh my God, this is a complete lie that I've caught you quite literally pants down. Anyway,
Was
that's
he doing a paneer bhurji? That is the question.
he was not the one making paneer bhurji. That's another
Okay.
one. But yeah, that's a new lesson I've learned from a mini me. But no, other
Okay.
than that, it's been a very depressing moment to
I
get
mean,
through. Because also,
I'm glad. I'm just glad that you learned this lesson and said this on the podcast where you came 15 minutes late. So
I didn't come 15 minutes late. I was just 5 minutes late, which I know is not
no, no.
much, which is not very good. I'm not. At least now I have this sense to be like, hey, that's not very good. But
Okay, cool. ठीक है. Some self realization is happening. Chalo,
see,
we'll take
Klopp
the
had to
marginal
leave.
gains where we can.
I
Imagine
mean,
how much
also,
better
I
I'm
can
going to be
see
when
that we've
Liverpool
been
start
recording for
losing.
17 minutes, and that means you showed up at about 9:15, 9:20.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
the math doesn't lie, Mukesh.
But
But yes,
yeah, guys.
back. Sweet, sorry. So, but just back to Klopp. I do want to know, and as a Liverpool fan, where do you think the tiredness came in for Klopp? Because
I
it
think
just feels
I
like
know exactly which one it was. I think it was the season Liverpool went for the quadruple and lost it.
hmm,
And I think they lost it by very fine margins, right? I think in the Champions League final, I think that's the one that broke Klopp because that was a very strong Liverpool team. And it required Courtois some providing a performance that he's never done in his life. Right?
hmm,
Like it was something the goalkeeper has not been he's done before or replicated after, and losing to I think in that season in particular losing to City, especially on the final day and I think on the final minute almost, right? I think until there was still chance for Aston Villa to equalize and Aston Villa were winning 2-0 I think until the 60th minute, until they came back and scored 3 goals in the last half an hour. Had they even held on to the draw, Liverpool would have won. I think that quadruple season broke Liverpool and the squad. And I think the season after that, which was last year, I think there's a reason why I think they just performed so poorly. I think they came eighth or something. So I think that really that was the season. And I think that's when he was done. And then I think he just stayed on for the last season was recovery, and this season is the one final push. And honestly, yeah, even if we just get one piece of silverware, I'm just okay because there's going to be a parade for sure, right? There's going to be a massive parade. I just hope there's one
there's
piece
going
of
to be a
silver. Even
documentary.
Oh,
correct.
that document will be beautiful.
But imagine if it ends with, imagine if it ends with like final day again, fucking Liverpool and City. It's come down to the wire and City just beats Liverpool by like 1 or 2 points or something. It's going to be a
Yeah,
very
And then
miserable
Roy Hodgson is
documentary.
announced as the new manager.
Oh,
yeah. I
Sam
Beautiful.
mean, let's
Allardyce.
talk about
I mean, if you're going for
Steve
jokes,
Bruce.
Sam
Steve Bruce,
Allardyce.
guys. Steve
Osh.
Bruce. He's just dying for a big job now.
Really, you don't put
Yeah.
Mourinho also now?
No. I don't want Mourinho at my club ever. I want him in the league that I follow.
Yeah.
Okay, so who are
I
your
don't want
top
him at my
three?
club. Uh, I mean, I think Jabi Alonso. Although, like, I think the sentimentality is so strong, and Liverpool are a very sentimental club. Although,
Hmm.
it's, like I know ex players who show promise isn't the same, so I'm not sure. So, but again, I think the sentimentality is high, and I think after Klopp, it's a sort of a he's a different kind of manager in that he's a little more steely-eyed and he's a little more like composed and whatever, right? So, but he still gets the ethos of the club, and I think like
Hmm.
even when he was at even while he was still playing for Bayern Munich, he was still regularly support post Liverpool. So I know he gets the club. Him. Then there's Amorim. I'm not sure what his first name is. Who manages I think FC
Ruben
Porto.
Ruben
Ruben Amorim.
Amorim.
I think FC Porto or yeah Benfica, one of these Portuguese clubs, and I think he seems to be very promising. He seems to have a very clear, he seems to be that Rafa Benitez sort of higher, won the
तू
league.
कितना मैचेस देखा रे बेनफिका और एफसी पोर्टो का कितना मैचेस देखा
Actually,
तो बी लाइक
He
after
doesn't even
that,
know
लाइक
no,
which
no,
team.
no.
या
I
पता
have,
नहीं कौन
I
सा
have.
तो टीम
No, no, no. I'll tell you what happened. Literally, when this happened, 2 hours later, there was the next manager, right? So some 3, 4 names came up. One of them was Dazabi, right? So I was like, okay, I know Zababi, I know Alonso. I actually went and that day, right? I went and looked at this Amorim and I watched all his matches and whatever, whichever club, but how many wins. In Wikipedia, I
All
saw
matches.
personal honors, a defender, I saw all that, and how many goals he scored for Portugal and all that. So, dude, I did obviously not as rigorously as say the Liverpool scouting team probably have, but I do know I did follow Amorim. But yeah, I guess Dazabi's one, but I don't know if he'll because I think it's hard to judge Dazabi by his current streak of results. But
hmm.
I think it'll be fun just
I
to give someone who can take it to Man City.
gave
But
it
I
to
don't know, man.
Gerrard. Even he knows the club.
And give it to Henderson.
Uh,
Henderson,
Henderson is
Gerrard.
now Henderson तो Ajax का माल बन गया bro.
You were saying you wanted a
Yeah.
Rafa Benitez type manager. You know who is a Rafa Benitez type manager? Rafa Benitez.
Rafa Benitez.
Another manager who knows the club
Knows the club,
and the
knows the
city. He
city.
knows the city all too well. Knows every part of the city,
Yeah.
blue and red.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Or Zidane,
Uh,
actually. But I don't know if Zidane will do Liverpool.
Zidane is a part-time manager. I
Come
feel
on.
Zidane
Really?
is a part-time manager.
But I think
Zidane
Liverpool
is a
need to go
manager.
through a Liverpool need to go through a hookup phase for some time. I don't think they're ready for another
Yeah.
long-term manager. I think they need to do.
Which is
They
why,
need to. They need to be a little slutty for a bit.
which is
They
why
need to-
Steve Bruce, the
No,
sluttiest
No,
of
no.
all the sluts.
No, but in that phase, you're not going to settle for anything, right? You want some premium shit.
no, and I feel like
Steve
like
Bruce.
there needs to be some overlap between Jurgen Klopp and the new manager. You need to have like something, ये भी. I've found the overlap you need. It's the cap. Hence, Tony
Yeah.
Pulis.
Tony Pulis. Well
He's
done.
the man.
Very good shout, Akash. Very good
He's the
shout.
man.
He is definitely the man. But yes, I feel like now, let's also just quickly preview Liverpool versus Chelsea because, of course, after we are done with this recording, a few hours after that, Liverpool versus Chelsea will kick off. So by the time this episode is out tomorrow, the results of that fixture will already be out. But at the time of recording, as we are leading up to the Liverpool versus Chelsea game, Mukesh, how are you feeling? Because I feel, and this is what is going to happen, and it's a genuine worry that I have as a non-Liverpool fan, is that because Klopp has announced this in the middle of the season, and because he is such a loved figure in Liverpool, in the dressing room and in the city, I feel like now every match at Anfield is just going to be next level atmosphere. Like
Yeah.
anyway, people talk about how the Anfield
Yeah.
atmosphere is very very tough to play in and all of that. I feel like now that he's announced he's leaving at the end of the season, it's just going to give them an extra push.
Yes,
So
because
keeping that in mind,
this retirement also explains why. I don't know if you remember. I think around November only he once complained about the home support not being good enough. And I think that was his sentimentality, like being like, "Hey man, you guys don't know what you're gonna missing out on." So yeah,
nah,
I do feel I do I yeah I'm sure it's going to be hell at Liverpool for any visiting team, but I'm also not looking forward to any Liverpool game because I know it's a countdown to till the end, and
hmm.
it just leaves me very very sad to know that this is going to be over. Akash, can you
Right.
please stop eating, man? Especially, and
You
I feel
want
like I can see you eating. I feel like I can see
Okay,
you eating only when I talk about
Muk-
this. Like till now, you weren't eating at all.
Mukesh, he's
Put
stress
some
eating
respect.
for you.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
hungry
I'm in
eating. मेरे
a.
को भूख लग रहा है.
हाँ उसको भूख लग रहा है क्योंकि
Guys,
तू लेट आया मुकेश तू लेट आया इसलिए he had to fucking eat while recording otherwise he would have finished the recording and then eaten. See,
guys, but I'm
we
not.
can blame everything on you. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I love how that works.
And I'll take it also because
Um,
I'm not in a good place, guys. I'm really not.
Oh, it's hilarious. It's hilarious. I'm
Like I
sure our
feel like
listeners will
I
be.
feel like I feel like the listeners are going, haha, he's joking. But I feel like I'm really not. Somewhere it actually really hurts, guys. Send me some
Mukesh,
sweet messages.
Mukesh, aren't you really, really hoping that it starts raining in Mumbai now so that you can go for a walk in the rain so nobody can see you cry?
I don't I'm okay if people see me cry. I just don't want this to happen.
Guys, but
Uh,
how since Mukesh was saying, "Oh, send me sweet messages," how good was that poem that I sent you
oh,
when Klopp was
superb,
leaving? I'm
superb.
gonna read it out. So Richard Osman,
Please.
who's a stand-up comic and an author and stuff. I think he also is a Liverpool supporter, but I'm not sure. He'd put out a tweet that said there was a fine German named Klopp who was loved and adored by the cop. So classy and cool, he reminded us all, you should always go out at the top, which is sweet and nice and all that. But then there was
Very
an
sweet, very
Everton
nice.
fan who
Correct.
replied to that and continued the limerick and went, his face was all weathered and hairy. He was always unbearably leery. With a billion spent and Hendo, Mo and Trent, he won the same leagues as Ranieri.
This insert the wah 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 meme over here. This is it.
So
Irshad, Irshad.
that was some sweet poetry for you, Mukesh.
Amazing, amazing. Mukesh, are you ready to move on to the next topic in the run order, or do you want us to make more fun of you?
Okay, okay. But I did find one interesting stat which Mukesh might make you feel better, which is that Liverpool have scored
We're all
more.
gonna die. Oh.
Oh yeah, that's my go-to favorite fun fact. But
Yeah.
I was talking more of a football stat. Is that Liverpool have scored more stoppage time winners under Klopp than United ever did under Alex Ferguson. So maybe Fergie
Ooh.
time should be changed
Hmm.
to Klopp time because I think it was close. I think it's 17 for Klopp's Liverpool as opposed to 16 for Ferguson's
Guy,
United.
but that's the thing, man. Klopp was so much vibes. It's not, yeah, he won everything, and I'm happy. And maybe there'll be something, yeah. But I'm like, fuck, what a ride it was, dude. How fun it has been to be a Liverpool fan. Fucking him breaking his hamstring, yelling at a referee. Alisson's header, like I can't even stop it. Like the 7-0 killing of United, all those thrashing Everton moments. Fuck.
The
That
draws
4
with
nil.
West Ham, with West Brom. The,
Brom. Honestly, I still love it. Because I know how it plays out. I had. Oh,
I mean,
what a
you,
ride it's
you you
been.
still love it because it gave the world of football a cultural moment to make fun of, right? Like
And
at the end
it
of the
doesn't
day,
matter.
good or
But there
bad.
was so. Yeah, there was. And Klopp has just been. I don't think any other manager in the last 8 years, especially in the Premier League, I don't know if in other leagues there are, has just provided so many moments, right? Just so many moments for you to remember football with. And I think I can see me.
Mourinho, Mourinho.
But Mourinho comes with so much bitterness. This is different, guys.
Are you
Fuck,
saying?
I
Wait,
really feel.
I'm sorry. We lost because the grass wasn't right,
Yes,
because the
yes. I
wind
was just
was
waiting
too
to come to that.
heavy. Is not bitterness.
Yeah,
and
but that's
grass
not his
wasn't
main
right,
defense.
also has subsections. Too tall,
Yeah.
too short, too wet, too dry.
Oh, we are lucky we didn't get Moises Caicedo. That's not bitterness.
Klopp's excuse is
Because
equivalent of Mukesh's cousin.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
toilet line,
exactly.
straight up.
guys, but none of those are
Straight
his
up, straight up.
defining
Right. Okay.
moments in that for the
Enough
most
about
part.
Klopp. We've okay. Okay. 30 minutes we have spent talking about Klopp. I think that is more than enough because we still have a lot more to go. Very quickly, also another big name manager. I actually, quite ironically, it's a very short name that he has. Xavi is leaving Barcelona at the end of the season as well, which is fantastic. And his departure from Barcelona is a little different because again, club legend as a player, was a
Hmm.
part of the absolutely iconic Barcelona side under Guardiola with Messi and Iniesta. But his management at Barcelona has been a bit of a mixed bag. They've got some victories, they've got some big defeats as well. But what he said about leaving is something that is really interesting. He said that he doesn't feel that his work is valued at Barcelona. and he was really scathing in his assessment of the powers that be at Barcelona. He said that they don't make you feel valued here. It feels like it's a waste of time, and it's just something that is mentally draining, and he needs to take a break. Now that is very very damning.
But it also explains why I don't like think that even someone like a Pep Guardiola, who's a micromanager and a megalomaniac rolled into one, just I think he was there for 4 years. How long was he
Yeah,
there for? He wasn't there for too long,
yeah,
right?
Three,
yeah,
4 years, yeah.
Despite
yeah, yeah, yeah,
3 4 years. So I think
yeah.
uh, I don't. Yeah, I think the Barca job is a. It's a very. It's on the surface. It looks very noble, but it's probably as toxic as a Real Madrid job, which is just outwardly toxic.
Yeah. It is, and especially with the financial struggles that Barcelona are currently going through, I think it's a big time mess, and it'll be very weird. Right before we end the first half, very quick, interesting story that I found. Harry Kane was in a bit of trouble with the Bayern Munich fans recently because he went to visit a fan club where he did a Q&A, and one of the fans asked Harry Kane what his favorite animal was, and he said, "The lion is my favorite animal." The moderator then had to point out to him that the lion is the symbol of Bayern's local rivals TSV 1860 Munich. And so he said, "Oh, okay, just a dog then." I just I just love the drop off from lion
Lion to
to
dog.
dog. It's like Mukesh, you say a lot of times, three pair. It's so, and he has left
He was
again.
very
Amazing. Mukesh
insulted.
has left again.
You
He's very,
made
very
fun of his
insulted.
poker skills and he was insulted.
Yeah. Very insulted. But no, I just love it. I mean, Harry, there are other animals. Like there's a lot of animals that come between lion and dog. You could have gone with cheetah because cheetahs are fast.
That's true.
You're a
Yeah.
forward, you can sprint. Go with that, make that assumption. Cheetah is basically a lion without the hair, and you're losing hair, so it works in that regard as well. Uh, but yeah, fantastic stuff, Harry Kane. Fantastic stuff. Right, on that note, let's take a quick break. On the other side, we'll talk about some of the fixtures that happened late last night in the Premier League, and we also preview United versus Wolves. See you on the other side. Welcome back to the Corner Flag, everybody. And as always, we begin the second half with some questions. Questions, questions, questions with the Corner Flag.
Dude, answers also, huh?
Super. So our first question is by Harish Natwani. Hello, Harish. He says, "What managers domino effect you guys would like to see now that two big jobs are available?"
Uh, I'm guessing he's talking about Xavi and Klopp,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I feel like I don't give a fuck about who manages Barcelona. 'Cause who honestly gives a shit? Uh, yeah, sure. Like take Guardiola back. I don't know.
Arteta,
Uh,
with his
uh,
Barcelona connection.
but
No.
but Arteta
But that's
said
his thing.
he's not going to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's not going to go. He said.
He's like, these are
Uh,
just rumors. Who's spreading them out? I don't want to leave.
yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, so I don't know what the scene is there. But I feel like I said in the first half, I think Steve Bruce or Steven Gerrard give them the Liverpool job.
Hmm. Okay.
Graham Potter's
We have to see
available.
now. Really? To Liverpool?
I mean, I don't know. Again, long-term manager, project manager. Liverpool have good young players.
But a very very different vibe to Klopp, and I feel like Potter's just not cut out for a big club. Yeah.
But I think they'll have to go for a
Potter's
non-Klopp vibe. Otherwise, hair con.
No, but they'll have to look in the foreign market only. They will have to look in the foreign market, and I do agree with what Mukesh said in the first half. I think Xabi Alonso is obviously front
Yeah.
runner because of his history with Liverpool and the fact that he's doing a great job at Bayer Leverkusen.
Mm.
Having said that, his deal is very very different because Xabi Alonso has very clearly said that he is going to move forward in his career when he wants to. He's
Mm.
not going to get pressurized into taking a big job just because it's available. He's going to move on from Bayer Leverkusen when he feels he's ready. Now, whether that's just lip service or whether that's actually true, we don't know. But it's refreshing for a manager to say that, especially a manager who's in such high regard and in such high demand, because even Real Madrid are interested in him. So
Right.
there is that interesting vibe.
But where's Ancelotti
But yeah,
going?
Ancelotti is not getting any younger, so he will retire at some point. Also, there was a long-running saga of him possibly going to manage Brazil, which obviously didn't happen because he extended his contract.
Mm.
Right.
But Real Madrid is also a club where even if it's Ancelotti, who's arguably the most successful manager, they lose the Champions League or they lose heavily to Barcelona, they don't win the La Liga or the Copa del Rey, and he'll get sacked without even a shadow of a doubt. So Real Madrid is, I think, a club that's always going to look out for their next manager, and Xabi Alonso is high on that list. So we'll see. I feel like Alonso is still the front runner for me for the Liverpool job, but I would love
Mm.
for Steven Gerrard to get it. I would love it. In the words of Kevin Keegan when they lost to Man United, I would love it if that happened.
That would be interesting. The next one is by Ashwin040. He says, do you all think Zabi Alonso is one season wonder or is actually a first class manager? Because we were purely on the Alonso conversation, so I thought, why not?
I mean, fair enough. Technically, considering he's not really managed for that long,
Correct.
you can't say. But having said that, the work he's doing at Bayer Leverkusen is great. Leverkusen are doing really well in the Bundesliga.
Hmm.
Uh, he's got the respect of the players. He's a very good man manager. He's got some interesting ideas in terms of the way he sets up his teams. So yeah, I don't think you can call a manager a one season wonder until they have a good season and then drop off a cliff
Hmm.
dramatically.
Hmm.
I think it's still early days for any sort of judgment to be made on Javi Alonso as a manager.
Yep.
Suppose. The last one that is by Noob Clicks. Sorry, that's not Noob Clicks. Noob Clicks didn't send this one. Sorry, this one's by Daksh7. He says, do you think at the end of the season Rashford is leaving the club? Now,
Ooh.
I know this is not on
Uh,
our run order, which is why I'm bringing this up.
no, we'll talk about this when we are previewing United versus Wolves.
Okay.
But yeah, I feel like there are some disciplinary issues for sure. I don't think he's going to leave the club. I don't think that'll happen.
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, those rumors have started. PSG have apparently renewed their interest in Rashford, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't see it happening. Honestly, if it does happen at this point, I'm like, huh, cool. I guess it's for the best because it's not like he's doing anything spectacular for us for the last couple of seasons. Form's been very patchy. Disciplinary issues have started going up again. So at 26 years old, maybe it's time to cash in and use that money to strengthen other areas of the squad.
Hmm. Maybe you should change his name to Marcus Cashford, and that's about it. Okay, that's all the questions he had, guys. Okay,
कितना कितना साल पहले वो लिखा था जोक तूने वेटिंग फॉर दिस
this
अपॉर्चुनिटी
is. I had to remove it from my binder, and I was like, shit. Day he's gonna leave, I'm gonna pull this one out.
Right. Thank you for writing in, everybody. We love listening to your questions. So keep doing that when we ask you to send them in. Even when we don't ask you to send in questions, you can always just write into us and have a chat. Um, right. Let's talk about some Premier League fixtures from late last night. Let's start off with Forest 1, Arsenal 2. What a blunder by Matt Turner for Jesus' first goal.
Mm.
Yeah, no, great.
Is he the worst keeper you've seen in the Premier League?
I feel no. There have been
Like there was
far
one
worse
Tottenham
keepers.
keeper called Gomez, who I think was
Yeah,
one of the
yeah.
worst I'd ever seen.
Aurelio Gomez,
No,
no, I think.
I mean, of
Aurelio
course,
Gomez. Yeah.
Aurelio
Aurelio Gomez.
Gomez,
Massimo Taibi at
Karius,
Manchester United was
Karius
atrocious.
Carius.
Loris
was yeah,
Karius.
Mignolet
But I
was
think in the
bad.
current era, yes, Matt Turner is one of the worst.
Maybe
But
no
the thing is, Matt
in the
Turner
top
does pull off some
20.
great saves. Yeah, for
But I
sure.
think that's the
I
thing.
mean,
I think that's the
considering
thing. There are
considering
these
there's
guys who
20
are
teams.
correct.
No, he's
No, but
saying
I think
history
there's
of
these
Premier League.
guys.
Ah,
There are these kind of keepers who makes exceptional saves, but they'll make like almost fantastical blunders. And I feel like
yeah.
and I think it's because they don't the positioning is so off that they always require like like I know even that Gomez used to make great saves and then but he would let three goals in. Like Mignolet
Yeah,
would dive and save something and it will go in. So I feel like I'm always a little wary of uh, keepers who are making stunning saves. Like then I feel like it's a little like
yeah,
shaky.
yeah. But okay, so from a keeper point of view, Akash, because you're the only one who's actually played in goal in a competitive environment for your school.
Whoa,
Mukesh,
whoa, whoa!
I,
I was just a good
I,
keeper.
Mukesh, I
It
don't
was a
consider your
crowning
hipster,
sporting.
your fucking hipster study under trees Rishi Valley nonsense is not a real school.
Wow.
Hello,
We're going to lose a lot
please.
of listeners now. Don't do
It
that.
was the it was the crowning achievement of my uh, teenage years is that I was a
Okay.
goalkeeper for like 3 games.
Yeah. No, but just technically speaking, near post, terrible angle for Jesus to shoot from, not too much power on the shot. What should Turner have done to keep that out? Because it went through his legs.
So I do have goalkeeping experience, but I do not have the experience of having seen this save because I didn't watch the game.
Well,
Come
well,
on,
well.
Mukesh,
Who
your
does
time to
that
shine.
leave you with, Amog? Well, well, well. And who
Prashant,
does
what do
it
you
come
think? As
back
somebody
to?
I'll
Who
Oh,
has
who's
played FIFA
not
in
a keeper,
life?
yeah,
That's true. I'll tell you what he should have done. He should have had an argument with the manager and then stormed off the game.
right, correct. That is, I think, that is the most technically sound bit of advice that we have
Yeah,
ever received on this podcast. So thank you for that, Prashant. I think every keeper needs to listen to this on loop just to
for
make
sure.
sure
yeah.
that their
But
careers are standing.
everyone in general, just if you don't agree, argue with your manager and storm off.
Yeah, yeah. Best way to go about things.
And take the
Always,
ball and walk
always.
off and say, my house, my rules, my ball. Fuck off.
Correct, correct, exactly. And nothing will ever happen to you. But yes, Mukesh, do you have anything to add to that?
No, man, I'm not gonna say anything. I feel I'm upset that I wasn't the first keeper you thought of. I'm actually quite upset. So
You are quite
I'll
upset, is it?
pass for a podcast.
Okay, okay. So then now
And
then
the
I put
chance to speak, I pass on it.
all right. So then I put this to you, Mukesh. Use the rage that you're feeling right now and talk about the fact that Ben White and Zinchenko had a flare up on the pitch after the game because I feel like it was Zinchenko's mistake that led to the Avoni goal, and Ben White and Zinchenko had some words with each other about it. They had to be separated by the rest of the players and the staff, and Arteta was asked about it, and he said, "I love it. I love it. I love it because they're showing passion and they care so much that they want the performances to be better. It's great."
Man,
I think the fight was Ben White saying,
okay.
"I put you in my FPL team, and this is what you do.
Yeah.
Clean sheet chala gaya. You were getting 3 bonus points."
I feel like this maybe it's not in Ted Lasso. Just Arteta is just like someone sometimes something bad happens and you still ascribe a good reason to it. Like, hey man, your wife cheated on you. Hey, that's great. She had sex. Like, some weird
Yeah.
shit. Like
Yeah.
Arteta's doing that. Like, I'm
Yeah.
like, bro, I don't know. I don't think this is that. I don't think this is players are showing passion, but that's the narrative. Sure, go for it. I guess being third, you can continue with that narrative. I don't
Yeah.
know, but I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
think that's what happened. Uh,
In his head, he's
I think
going,
you're
"You'll
getting
remember
screwed.
that whole bulb speech? You have to shine
Yeah.
on each other." He's like, now the bulb is halogen lights that is blinding each other,
Yeah.
but the effect is the same. It's just become stronger.
Yeah. Great stuff. Paul Scholes had something interesting to say about the fact that Zinchenko was playing the inverted fullback role, which is of course when fullbacks travel up into center midfield to overrun the numbers in midfield. Uh, the old school midfielder in Paul Scholes was having none of that. And late last night, on his Instagram stories, he said, "A fullback going up into central midfield is insulting to a central midfield player. He needs to get the fuck back."
Oh, wow, really? There's
Yeah,
a reason
he
he's not
went for it.
managing.
Yeah, he went for it. Funny thing was, Phil Neville replied to that. Phil Neville replied to that saying, "Us
Not even the
fullbacks can
best
play
Neville,
anywhere,
by the
pal."
way.
Yeah, exactly. He said, "Us fullbacks can play anywhere, pal." I'm like, "No, Phil. You barely could play in your own position. Let's be very honest. You couldn't play in most positions, so it's not great for you to be saying that to Paul Scholes. But I love it when ex players of a certain generation have meltdowns like these. They're just not able to understand the developments in modern day football, or to put it succinctly, uncle behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Uncle
Who
defender
would
is
behavior.
want
going
the
and attacking.
British?
Game is gone.
Paul Scholes
Yeah.
then went and shouted at some kids who were playing football on the street outside his house, threw water on them, and took their football away and punctured it with a knife. That was his Tuesday. So well done to Paul
That was
Scholes for
his
that.
9/11.
Yeah,
Sorry.
whoa,
Because
that's
this is
hectic.
because this
Mukesh
is
has gone to Spain
Klopp
without the
leaving.
S.
Yeah.
Yeah, where has
Because
that come from, Mukesh? Where
Klopp
has
leaving
that
is
come
my
from?
9/11.
Right. Uh, just very casually referring to 9/11. I see.
Yeah,
Just
let's
just
fly
yeah,
past
yeah,
that, man.
yeah.
Hmm.
That Mukesh, that joke bombed. All right, it absolutely fucking bombed. Let's go to Villa 1, Newcastle 3. Big victory for Newcastle. But the most amazing moment in that game was after the game. Bruno Guimaraes, while going into the tunnel, stopped by and took a bar of chocolate from a fan in exchange for his shirt.
You
Cute.
think there was a negotiation there? It's like आधा बार नहीं. It's like थोड़ा. Can I save some? It's like an ad. It's a Cadbury ad.
It's a Cadbury ad. It is a Cadbury ad. But in real life, Akash, I think if a player asks for a chocolate in exchange for their match worn shirt, you take it. You'd be like, "Tu mera baki ka sab kapda bhi le le, bro. Give me that." Because that is going to fetch that fan
Many
thousands
chocolate
of
bars.
pounds. Yeah, exactly. But it's great. He walked in also in the tunnel cam also followed him, and he was very proud walking into the dressing room with his little chocolate. Great to see. Uh, Fulham versus Everton, 0-0. Akash, this is the
Yeah.
point.
Oh, this is one thing that's given me so much joy. Let's go.
Again, did you all watch the game?
Why would we?
Force field on both goal lines. It was just once the box used to get into either boxes. Once the ball used to get into either boxes, the teams would just forget how to finish. It was just like, oh, now we don't know where to kick, what to do. It was just bizarre, dude. The ball was just pinballing everywhere except for into the net. It was
Yeah,
nuts.
Wait,
it's
are
it's
usual Everton games of better quality? Like,
No, usually they don't get to the opponent's box now, so it's not like oh no, so how wasteful. Usually it's just how shit.
um,
This
yeah,
Fulham game and that Aston Villa game has just been wasteful.
yeah.
But the only
But let's talk
main
about the
talking,
penalty.
yeah, that's the only
Let's
main
talk.
talking
Yeah,
point.
let's talk about the penalty because you sent us a video of the penalty incident and you asked us if we thought it was a penalty or not. And listeners, please do send in your messages on our Instagram as well at the rate Conflict Pod to tell us what you think about that specific incident. But Anthony Robinson was supposedly caught handling the ball off the goal line, and a penalty was not given. Of course, a lot of Everton fans, including yourself, Akash, were talking about how Everton were being robbed week
Hmm.
after week. I, for one, don't think it was a penalty, man. Prashant, Mukesh, what do you guys think?
Not a penalty. Definitely not.
yeah, not a penalty. Especially after, sorry, a Liverpool point. I must prefer to, but in that Liverpool Arsenal game, Odegaard literally handled the ball and that was not given a penalty. So I'm like, you know what? No more penalties.
Acha,
So
no more
that was not a
penalties in
penalty.
life.
Yeah, no more penalties until Liverpool gets unfairly awarded at least 15 penalties.
Liverpool on the first game week of this year had as many penalties as
Excellent.
Everton
Let's
got
go.
all of last year. So you can't be complaining about
Liverpool.
penalties. And it's a thing of VAR said the only reason it wasn't given was because the hand
Hey,
was
Everton
right
engaged
next
in
to.
financial doping. So let's not like talk about
Okay, sorry. If
cheating.
the wait, Mukesh, if Akash said that the issue was of $19 million or 19 million pounds or something,
Hmm.
that figure cannot be considered as financial doping. At best, it's a financial protein shake.
And that also a
It is
detrimental one. It's
still.
a financial
Yeah.
protein shake that a lactose intolerant club had. पूरा
You
टट्टी
asked
निकला उसके बाद.
You ask a club like Chelsea, then they'll tell you what doping is for financial.
Exactly.
Mm.
Of course, they, they they cut the joints into like 12 installments and then smoke it once every year. Or, that's how they do it. But no, I don't think it was a penalty, Akash. Why do you think it was a penalty?
Because it very clearly hit the hand. The hand was in
Huh?
an position well away from the body, and this whole thing of no reaction time, they have multiple times disproven in the handballs that they have given in life in the last
Huh.
in the Premier
See,
League.
consistency is something that we cannot expect from VAR at all. That's though besides the point. Let's not even get down that road in that argument at all. I'm saying the ball ricocheted off the crossbar, right? So when that happened, yes, the ball was on top of his head and he knew where it was going. But once it ricocheted off the crossbar, he had no idea where the ball was. You can see also
But
he's
it
not even
didn't.
looking at the
It
ball.
didn't turn invisible after it hit the crossbar. Na? He was
Ha,
looking
but
at it. It
he's
hit
not.
the crossbar.
But
It came
he
down.
when it comes down, he's not looking in the direction of the ball. Even he was trying to change his body shape, and that's where it hit the hand. Which is why I don't think it's something that can be given.
VAR's point was that the hand was next to the body. The hand was
I
as out
mean,
as the
No,
pose
no.
from
That
Titanic.
I mean, I
Matlab,
mean, to be fair,
as per VAR, Christ the Redeemer is standing in like one, hands by his side, normal position. Pocket mein uska haath.
to be fair, VAR is technically correct. The hand is right next to the body. Because if it's not, then you have a
And
problem.
then you're
फिर
Thakur
वो
from
amputation
Sholay.
वाला scene होता है. Yeah, exactly. So technically speaking, VAR has a point. So I feel like it was not a penalty. Would love to hear what the listeners think about that. And we'll see. Right before we end, let's quickly just preview United versus Wolves. Again, the match take place late tonight or early tomorrow morning. I don't know. At some point, these late night kickoffs are just so fucking annoying. But yeah, we spoke about Rashford's issues. In general, I feel like the ownership is doing a decent job. Like I feel like lots of interesting changes being made by Jim Ratcliffe. The biggest of the changes has been we've hired Omar Berada as the CEO.
hmm.
And we've poached him from Manchester City.
Hmm.
Which only tells me, I think, that Manchester City is
And he's
probably,
not
Guardiola
going
was
to make.
asked
you know,
about this.
Pep is probably going to go out in a year, and then which means,
Pep's
and
No,
like,
but
look,
that's
we're
what
giving
Ratcliffe is
all
going to.
these clubs our players, they're still not doing anything. अभी CEO को भेजो. Long term planning भी हम लोग करते हैं उन लोग के लिए. At least somewhere in the future we might have some competition.
no, but Pep was asked about this, and he had something very salty to say, and I'll tell you what I felt after watching it as a United fan. But he basically said that so he was asked if any trade secrets or he's worried about any trade secrets of Man City being leaked onto Man United because Omar Berrada is now going to be working for Man United. He said no because Kevin De Bruyne still plays here, Erling Haaland still plays here. So on the pitch, we are very sorted. I don't know how much of a difference he's going to make at Man United. If they think he's going to make all the difference, then good. Congratulations to them. Best of luck. I wish him all the best, but I'm not worried about anything. And watching this as a United fan, I just felt so sad because he's right.
Yeah.
क्या घंटा उखाड़ने वाले हैं हम with the CEO? Like it's a step in the right direction, sure, but नहीं होने वाला है ऐसा कुछ. Massive change is not going to happen. Let's like rein in our expectations a little bit.
And also, I
And
think the
it
thing is
made me
that
feel
by
even
the.
worse because
Sorry,
these are the
finish.
kind of comments I was used to seeing Ferguson make.
Oh wow, Amog is still referring to Ferguson.
The club in its entirety.
उसके बाद अच्छे दिन
हाँ,
कब
हाँ.
आए हैं?
उसके बाद मोयस था. So like it all went downhill
Moyes,
very very.
Moyes.
Yes.
But yeah,
But what's
I
this
guess
Rashford?
Mukesh is
What's
not
this
going to
whole
say anything.
Rashford situation?
Rashford's situation is that after I think the Newport County FA Cup game, he went to Belfast for a clubbing night out and got home at 7 a.m. and missed training, and then was disciplined for it. That's it.
But he's back in the squad and stuff.
He's back in the squad because Tenag.
Wow, he's partying in Belfast. I don't know. That doesn't sound like a
What are you going to say? That doesn't
party
sound like a
here.
real
I think
city.
whenever you think of partying.
I think probably more like it's not a place that you don't want to go for a
That's
club
subjective
scene.
actually,
That
but it
who
doesn't
actually
sound
goes
like
to
a.
clubbing in Belfast?
अरे तेरे को क्या पता तू किधर गया था
I
बेलफास्ट?
I
What
have
the
like,
man.
you
The
What
know,
name,
probably what
the
Mukesh
name
wanted to say
says
that's
so.
what the
fast.
party is.
Fast, bro,
yeah,
fast.
That's
exactly.
true. That's
Fast,
true.
fast, bro.
That is true.
But yeah, so I mean, I feel like in the pre-match conference for the Wolves game, Ten Hag was asked about it, and he said, "No, it's an internal matter. It was a disciplinary issue. He has taken responsibility for his actions, and the case is closed." And that's as clear as it can be. I'm guessing Rashford must have apologized to Ten Hag because that's, as we know, what Ten Hag wants from his players who make mistakes. Saying sorry, that's it. That's all he had to do. He must have said sorry, paid a fine. He's back in the squad. So let's see. If he scores, he scores. If he doesn't,
Hmm.
then he'll have the fans on his back. Or kya bole?
I don't know, man. I just think that they blew up the whole situation right before the Newport game. So I was watching that game and I remember the reporters were asking the pre-match that and when Ten Hag was just saying it's an internal matter, it's an internal matter,
Yeah.
and he was just being very to the point, and it just felt like one of those things that he was caught off guard with. He's like, I don't know, I don't want to deal with this right now. It's still an internal matter.
Yeah.
But always it, at least to me, and I'm guessing to some more fans as well, more like how is this that he gave a spot to Rashford and not to Sancho? Of course, because Sancho didn't perform over a period of time, and so doesn't. Uh,
Yeah, Sancho didn't perform over a period of
correct,
time. Sancho was also I don't think Sancho's on as high wages
correct.
as Rashford. Rashford's an academy product, very well regarded by the
Yeah,
fan base,
yeah.
at least more so than Sancho. And I'm like I said, Sancho decided to take it up a notch, whereas Rashford probably just said sorry and moved on.
Hmm.
So we'll see what happens at the end of the season. If he does end up going to PSG or not, we'll see. But yeah, there we have it. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening to this episode of the Conflag. With that, we shall end this episode. If you'd like to get in touch with us and tell us what you thought of this episode, you can reach us on our social media. You can find Prashant on Instagram at.
Prash 224.
You can find Akarsh on Instagram at.
Akash Chandan.
You
And
can
we
find
don't know where
Mukesh.
you can find Mukesh because he keeps disappearing
He keeps disappearing from this recording, but you can find him on Instagram at Mukesh Manjunath, and you
or
can find
crying
me
in some corner of some garden,
exactly.
thinking of the times that were.
Online and offline. And you can find me on Instagram at Amograndive. You can also find the Corner Flag on Instagram and Twitter at the rate Corner Flag Pod. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/at the rate Corner Flag Pod. Vote for us in the HT Podmasters Awards. The links are on our social media. Head over to our Instagram and click the link in the stories and give us your vote. Tell your friends and family to vote for us as well. It would mean a lot to us. Shout out to Kazad Gurda for composing our theme tune. And until next week, it is goodbye from us. So say bye, Prashant.
Bye, guys.
Say bye, Akarsh.
Bye.
Say bye, Mukesh. Bye. And it's bye from me.